Hello, CinSanity, and welcome to this episode of our podcast. Today we have Lucas Cagle. Lucas is a representative for Hunter Safety Systems as a saddle hunting guru for them. I met Lucas at ATA, and boy, did he convince me to start saddle hunting. There are a lot of advantages from a mobility standpoint to a cover standpoint that aren't offered by a traditional tree stand. Yes, both have their place, but today we are going to do a deep dive with Lucas on saddle hunting, its advantages, and the Hunter Safety System Defender saddle. So what do you say we get this thing started?
I'm not going to give you a spiel of a commercial on this podcast because I hate it when other people do it. So let's keep it simple. For all your fall food plot needs, our friends over at Tecomate have given us a 10% discount code for you all to use. It is Tecomate10. That's Tecomate 10. Go look it up and get whatever fall food plot products you need. I promise you won't be disappointed.
All right, so what I decided to do today is I'm going to step out, and Jay, you're going to take the whole thing.
What? I just got on here, man.
Unscripted.
All right, boys. This is Lucas Cagle. Lucas, meet Graham, Zach, and Jay. So I met Lucas I don't know if he remembers me or not. I met him at ATA this year. I was sliding by the Hunter Safety System booth. I hadn't been to ATA in 6 or 7 years, but Lucas started talking about saddle hunting because I saw Hunter Safety System came out with a saddle. I'm not going to lie. He about sold me on it. So we're going to give her a run this year. And I want to see if he can sell Jay Conrad on saddle hunting. That's what I want to see.
For sure.
And before Clayton says anything, I got him in a saddle last year, and he did kill a deer in his first sit in a saddle stand.
See?
I told Lucas that. He don't remember, but I told him.
Man, I switched over to saddle hunting, and I can tell you exactly where I was when it happened. I'm in Elise in Illinois, and we have some humongous fields up there. And the farmers, they don't do any spraying for any Roundup or anything. And so we call the farm Kookaburra Farm because it is just nasty. And I had walked across an uncut bean field with a tree stand on my back for right at a mile. And when I got back there, I was soaked. And there was no chance I was going to see a deer because I had to smell the high heavens. And I was like, man, I had a buddy that had told me about it. And the problem was, you get online and you look at these saddles and you look at these different companies and everything, and it's like, man, that's cool and everything, but I don't really want to spend $600-700, and I've never put one on. I don't know any, didn't get to try anything. And this was 4 or 5 years ago. There was no try before you buy. They're not in any stores. And so I had gotten on Tethered's website. I ordered a Phantom and the platform and all that stuff. Well, then I start looking at climbing methods. And I originally was like a 4-stick, climbing and everything. And man, when you get down, it seems like it takes an eternity to leave, getting everything packed up. And I had to realize that learning to saddle hunt, it's like going back and learning to tree stand hunt all over again. Because like when I first got in a climber, when I, anything, we were cranking the steps in the trees and all that stuff. And, it took a while to perfect your method of exactly how you do it. And so I had gone out in the yard and I just started trying the different climbing methods. And I would climb up, hang my saddle, shoot my bow, and then get down. And, I had done it over and over and over. And I'd even tried like the tree climbing gaffs that you put on your legs and everything. And I landed on the 1-stick climbing method. But all total, when it just makes sense when you can put your saddle on your hips and you can take a stick and a backpack, and now I can walk into any place and I can scout my way in. I find a tree, I climb, and I can hunt immediately without having to leave and go take a shower and, come back and saw or do whatever. And so it really just worked out best for me because a lot of the places that we're hunting, especially when you do any kind of public land hunting, man, most of the time you're best percentage for killing a big deer is the first time you're in there. And so the more trips that you make in and out, like you go in and scout, you find something. You go in, hang a stand and get it hung. You come out, and then your third time in before you even get to hunt it. And so that the saddle just sort of eliminated that for me.
Yeah, I think the first time in rule, that kind of applies to anything in general, but more so on public, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So I do have a question. Have you tried the climbing saddle stand? Have you tried that one yet?
Jeez.
I have not. And the reason that I haven't
Is this that thing where you were rappelling down the tree that you were showing me, like a rock climber?
Well, that's what you had to do with one stick is you rappel down the tree.
Yeah, you rappel down a tree. And man, like whenever I'm teaching somebody for the first time, I'll set it up and I'll just kind of have them rappel, just like set the platform on the bottom of the tree, have them rappel down, get a feel for what it feels like. Because the first time, it's kind of jerky and you're unsure of it and everything. And I work for the fire department here in Huntsville, and I've done rope classes and I've been on the heavy rescue team. And I can remember the first time that you rappel, it's nerve wracking, because you're leaning back and you're hoping that you're doing everything right. Well, then I'll take a ladder and I'll go up just a little bit, or I'll let them put one stick on the tree, climb up about 6 feet, rappel down. And after that, you pretty well got a feel for it. But it is way safer than trying to find steps on the way down in the dark. Because, you got your headlamp on, you got your backpack, you're trying to look down at your feet and see where your steps are. And, I mean, I'm short, got short legs, and I'm terrible about putting my steps too far apart anyways, trying to achieve a little more height each climb. And so, and then, of course, during bow season, if you get 12 feet off the ground, you can't hardly make a shot. So in gun season, when I'm still bow hunting and when all the foliage falls off, I have to make another move or two to get up into some limbs so that I have a little cover. And so I'm not really limited to 4 or 5 steps. So.
And yeah. I mean, and for one saddle, because I know Jay likes to get up in some small trees. I mean, the saddle actually allows you to be able to do that more. I mean,
yeah.
They say they prefer you to look for those trees that are basketball size.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and, so now, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. But you're not limited to that. And to me,
you can go bigger.
I mean, if the wind is really blowing hard, then I want a big tree because I want one that's not going to be swamming around. And then I really like to look for a multi-trunk or a fork so I can get up and stand in a fork. So.
All right, Jay, now you get your day in court.
What?
Well, what's your thoughts on doing a hang and bang with a lightweight stand versus a saddle? Why stick with the hang and bang?
It's because it's what I know. I mean, that's basically what it is, right? Like, I've never saddle hunted. I understand the concept of it, but I like to platform, sit down, move around a little bit.
Say that again. You cut out.
I just like a platform, man. Like, I mean, if you're going to do the one stick method, I guess so really getting up the trees doesn't matter, right? Like, do it with the one stick method, you have to have some sort of harness to rappel with. Like, that's what the saddle is, a harness, right? Pretty much that you sit in. I don't know, man. I don't know what my good argument would be. It's just like, I'll just carry another 8 pounds. Like, that's my argument. Like, I'll just carry 8 more pounds.
8 pounds, man. Man, all total. Like, I've done both. I've carried a stick and a platform. I've had one of the one sticks, and I'm like you. The platform's a little too small. I like a big platform. I like plenty of real estate because I've made several shots. I'll turn around and put the rope over my shoulder and lean in, and I'll stand with my back to the tree a lot. The other thing is, I'm a decent sized guy. I'm 220, and so I've been picked off several times where the deer have skylined me. They can see me up in the tree. Well, when you're standing in the saddle, you're coming off the tree sort of like a branch where your feet are against the tree. And so I've been spotted significantly less from my saddle than I have from a lock on. And, and I was reluctant because what I did was I got my saddle and I would stand in a lock on, and I tried it that way, and the way that the wires come down from behind the seat, man, it was like tripping me up. And so I was like, all right, I'm selling out to it. This is how I'm gonna do it. And then once you sell out to it, once you start, making it the way, figuring it out, you have to go through the learning process of the adjustments on the saddle, the adjustments on your tether height, and all that stuff. And once you get that stuff figured out, and it'll take you a few hunts. I mean, you kind of you got to want to do it. But once you get it figured out, man, it's literally nothing. I've seen deer coming in and out where I'd climbed in the wrong spot before, and I've rappelled down and snuck over and reclimbed and still saw deer and didn't blow my spot. Because whether you're 1 stick, 2 stick, 5 stick, whatever, that's irrelevant. I mean, it's not, for me, one sticking, I got one 1 pound stick with an 8er on it and a platform. I mean, it's significantly lighter and way more, you're quicker, and I can climb quieter, because the only noise that I'm really making is like rustling the bark, and it sounds like a squirrel climbing around. So,
yeah, see, that's where you got me sold on it at ATA, was the angle at which you're coming off the tree and you look more like a branch instead of sitting there skylined like a big lump on that side of that tree in the platform. And then I need to move. I'm like 20 yards off the X. I need to move 20 yards that way. It seems a lot, if you think about it, it seems a lot quicker in a saddle than it does even with a lightweight hang and bang hang-on set.
right.
And I mean, and you talk about movement, Jay, like when you're in a saddle, like you have way more movement in that saddle, being able to shoot completely around that tree versus I feel like, than I do in a climber. I mean, I can get on the side of my platform if my platform is on the tree correctly, because I learned that last year. And I had a big drop tine 8-point come out, and I went to the side of it, and I didn't do the foot lock where you lift the bottom of it up and stand on the top, and I went on the side, and that thing just went right off the edge of the tree right as I was at full draw.
Doesn't help you weigh 240.
Yeah, that doesn't help, but I mean, it's when you have that platform on correctly and it's not going anywhere. I mean, you have so much room to be able to move around. My only problem that I get with saddle hunting, I can go out there and sit for 4, 5, 6 hours, but once I get to that 4-hour time slot, 5-hour time slot, the hip pinch is what gets me.
Well, and the hip pinch is I mean, I don't care what saddle you use. Some are absolutely worse than others, and I've had most of them. And I got the little hip pinch eliminator. It helps, but when I go for a week-long trip, by day 3, and your knees are sore a little bit from leaning on the tree, and so I'll be putting my knees to the side or turning around and standing more. But what gets me with a tree stand, hunting, I've got a bad back, and hunting with no back on a seat, it's like sitting in a gymnasium, watching the kids. I can't do it. My back will be killing me. And so the saddle has extended how long I can stay because it doesn't bother my back. But if you'll move your tether down the tree some, a lot of people want to get it really high. And I find it when my tether's high and your bridge is long, your binoculars and everything are just kind of, they get tangled up in your bridge a little bit. And I've moved it down, and my sweet spot is about my throat, about right in there. And, in Hunter Safety Systems saddle, the Defender, I used it a good bit last year, and that was what I wound up hunting with almost exclusively. And, dude, I could swing into the tree and put it between my legs and just kind of kick my feet out to the side. And that one, it's got a little more stretch to it, where a lot of them are pretty rigid, with the webbing and stuff that they have. And I mean, and it's, it's life safety stuff. So of course it's going to be pretty rigid, but the Defender has got a good bit of stretch to it, to where it didn't pinch me as bad on the back of the legs. And of course, I I did some all-day sits in Illinois last year because we would have snow coming in, and I would get in and try to sit and wait on the front to get. I wanted to be there good before the front came through, and man, I mean, hey, even in sitting in a tree stand all day is a grind. I mean, there's going to be some woes there also. So.
Any more the boredom gets me more than anything. I'm usually, it hits like 11 o'clock. I'm usually like, man, do I need to move any cameras on scrapes or something? I got to find an excuse to get down.
Yeah.
I used to be able to do it. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, you run out of Debbie cakes, all that. So
Have you tried any of those? Have you seen any of those bars that go on your tethered? Have you seen any of those?
Yeah,
where
the
they have
hip
it towards
pinch.
Have you tried any of those out?
Yeah, I've got the one from G3, that buckles together and it holds it out, and that thing does good. And the one thing that you'll get with those is like when you twist and your carabiner comes around, like it limits you of how far you can twist around if you really need to get twisted around to shoot one. But it's one of those things midday, or you hit a lull where things kind of settle down, and pop that thing in, put your knees to the side, and just kind of and then knee pads. I recommend knee pads. The Sitka pants have knee pads in them, but when you put those expensive pants against the bark and you tear the knees up on them, I don't know. I like to be able to pull the knee pads off for when to walk out too.
Yeah. I keep a pair of painter pads in the truck just in case if I know I'm going to be going for a long period of time.
Yeah, and it's nice there's cheap knee pads and stuff, but the plastic on them, they slip around on the bark. So the softer rubbery ones, they seem, because you'll push off with your knee to kind of white your glass in or something like that, and those make it a good bit nicer. But I couldn't, if I ran off and left my knee pads, that's gonna be a rough day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so we talked about the fact that I shot a doe out of that. Gosh, I was about to say out of that saddle last year, but like I had to turn and put the rope over my shoulder with my back facing the tree, and I'd never saddle hunted before. I was like, I'm assuming I had the height wrong on my strap going around the tree or something, but can you walk me kind of through that, like what you found to be the best as far as setting these things up, like where your rope's going around the tree and everything like that, and kind of how you want to position yourself to shoot? Like, hey, if I want to shoot over here, I need to make sure it's dead on my left if I'm a right-handed shot or whatever.
Right. What I do is, of course, I'm right-handed, so shooting off to my left is going to be my weak side. And when you try to get twisted this way and you're pulling back, you're going to torque your bow that way. Myself. Now, if you kick off with one foot and you can get your body twisted around, you can make it happen. But to me, if my tether is about my throat and I can grab my ropeman or Mad Rock in my case, and I can hold it and just twist and turn my back to it, well, now I have my ropeman right here in my chest. I'm leaning into it for my stability, and I have my back to the tree, so now I can get drawn back and I'm comfortable. And, my tether's not pulling down on me. It's straight behind me right there. And I got my bridge, and all that is coming across my chest, so it kind of holds my jacket back out of the way and stuff like that. And now I'm in a natural position to stand and shoot, and I'm leaning into that rope, so I'm not feeling like I'm having a balance. Because like in a lock-on, if you had to really hold off the end of your platform and you're waiting on that tether to grab you between your shoulder blades, man, there's a spot right there to where it's like, all right, where's it at, And so, and then the other thing that I do personally, I shorten my draw length by about a half an inch just to make sure that if I get in a weird position, or if I'm wearing a ton of clothes, like if I got on my Fanatic stuff, man, when you get drawn back, I don't want to be, completely chest out. I'd like to be able to put a little bend in my bow arm, and but that's been what's really been helpful for me.
Yeah. Now, how is it with those things? Like, I'm used to hunting. Like, my stuff's set, and I just cruise in, climb up, cruise out. What have you found like the perfect height in the tree to be like? I know you mentioned it earlier, like so you don't have to trim as much, like 12 foot and under.
That's pretty situational where I'm
Yeah,
hunting.
but
And
like,
but yeah, I mean, like normally I would say I'm typically somewhere around 18 to 20 foot to my feet.
yeah,
And that, because I really like to get into the limbs, but you don't want to get so high because, like, if you're on the edge of a field, you got the branches hanging over and stuff. So you really have to sort of pick your shots. And I do like to eliminate how many limbs I'm cutting because you get up there and you start cutting a ton of limbs, you're going to get hot. And then I think that adds a lot of scent. I think those deer can smell those green limbs that are cut. And that, I don't know, may be crazy, but I feel like that kind of tipped me off.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
like,
and
go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, I mean, like for me personally, I mean, I got it tethered back in 2019 is when I first started, and just I was young, new doing it. I mean, I had 4 sticks that I used to climb. I mean, I cut it down to 3, so I wouldn't have to carry as much in. And I mean, I'm 6'2", so I can space them out a good distance apart to where I can at least get up to that 15-foot mark. And I mean, I always like personally, I instead of trying to cut limbs, I would more so try to find that spot in between the limbs that I could get up in and climb around some tree limbs to get into that opening to where I know I have good cover everywhere else, but I know I'm going to have shots into the spots that I'm wanting to have shots at.
Yeah, absolutely. And then something that we did too on my farm, the farm that we lease in Illinois. I've got some ladders because there's like some giant trees right on the edge of the food plots that you couldn't get in them with a tree stand hardly anyways. I mean, because they're so big around. And so we'll throw a climbing stick on them or maybe some screw in steps and just stick a platform. And you can even throw a lifeline in it. And then I can climb up and just hook in on the platform. And so, like, if I run up one morning and I get there at 2, I can go straight to the tree and I can just throw my saddle up and hunt a food plot, just for the sake of getting in the woods early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, let's talk deer theory here. And Jay, this would apply to you because I know you do a lot of hang and bang, and Zach, I'm sure you do the same thing in Kansas. How much hunting with a saddle, doing something that's mobile, trimming branches? How much of that do y'all think you can really get away with? And I mean, on top of that, like you can't trim a ton. You don't want to be carrying a pole saw in with you if you're going to go slide into a tree and then hunt right there. What are you going to do? I mean, yeah, you can leave it at the base of your tree, but that's just that much extra you got to take with you.
Well, I mean, depends. Like, a lot of that public land, you're not allowed to trim. So if you're public land hunting, you can't really trim. So it doesn't matter there. For me, though, I mean, I just carry a turbo saw. I don't carry a pole saw. If I'm going to trim anything, usually, I can reach it, and I'll trim whatever I need.
Well, how much can you really reach?
Well, I mean, I don't put my stand where I can't shoot. That's step 1. Put it where you can't shoot. Step 2 is make sure you can cut what you need to cut where you want to shoot. Right? Like if you go put it in a cedar tree, you're going to be cutting a shitload of limbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's where you want to put it. Like you can't. You also can't be an idiot. Like I'm going to go right up in this tree, and then it's awesome. They'll never see me. Well, you'll never shoot them either. So you also got to have some sort of right. Like okay, but no, I'll just cut whatever I need. I don't worry about. I don't like necessarily get on the ground and go cut a shooting lane.
No.
Right. Like I'm not going to walk where I think the deer are coming from and start cutting trees down. I'll go in my tree, get in there and cut the limbs. Usually in my tree. That will present where I can move to get a shot if I need to get a shot. I'm not going to go necessarily and cut a 40-yard path this way, a 40-yard path. You got to make your shot. Most places you can get a shot,
Yeah.
Eventually. It might not be ideal, but you'll have a pocket.
And Lucas, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I mean, I feel like with saddles, though, it allows you to get into those trees in those areas that might have a lot, like might have a lot more limb hangage, but they don't have enough like a lot of stuff around it. So you can get up there and then cut your few limbs that you need to cut, or it might not even have to be a limb. It might just be a little stick that's off that limb.
Right.
To where you can then have those shooting lanes, but then you also still have that cover, but you might not have any other trees around you. It's just that one tree that you're in that field, or even if it's in the timber, like if you're on a logging road or something, you might be able to find where they're crossing, and there's one tree that's right there that's good enough to climb, and everything else is saplings or cedars or whatever, and then that's the tree that you can use to get up in, and then you just have to cut bare minimum just to be able to have 2 or 3 shooting lanes.
Man, you're right. I've climbed some really gnarly trees that bent and went back up and all kind of crazy stuff. I've climbed a tree and put my saddle on another tree. I did that this last weekend in Illinois. The tree was huge, and it split into 4 trunks when it got up there, and it was an old cow pond on the edge of a cornfield. They had combined the corn behind me. I had standing corn out in front of me, and there was a food plot on the far side. I had to wind straight like northeast, and I knew that tree was there, and I had planned on trying to do a climbing stick there and just hadn't got around to it. So I walk in, and I had a guy with me, and he's a young guy. He'd never killed a deer before. And we climbed the tree next to it, and then I turned around while I had my tether on this tree and hung my stick on this tree, threw my lineman around it, undid my tether, and then we climbed into the saddle of that tree. So he was on this trunk, I'm on this trunk, and of course, man, we had some deer come right out of the corn just like I was hoping, and that was the only thing that you could get in that spot. It was not happening with anything else, and like there was no way you were going to get your sticks around that tree to climb it, because the way that it swelled out at the top, it was going to be impossible. And so had it not been for being able to have the mobility of the saddle and be able to climb the tree next to it and all that, I'd have been out of luck. It wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. Like, and for me, as far as like trimming stuff, I mean, sometimes you just got to bite the bullet, man, and just cut it and get it over with. I really, especially you consider the fact that a lot of guys hunt during the rut. I really don't know how much it matters. Like for the next 10 or 15 minutes, it matters. But then after that, I don't think it matters anymore. Just get it over with. Like I tell people all the time, you got to go explore.
Biggest thing that you got to watch for, and I've done this 1,000 times, you cut a limb, throw it right on your bow. I've done that 100 times. I'm an idiot, so.
Yeah, I'll cut whatever. Like, if I have to, like, I don't know. The worst thing you can do is be lazy and like, nah, it'll be fine. And then, you don't get that many chances. Like,
right.
You really don't. So, like, you're like, if you think you need to cut it, cut it. I've been lazy. I mean, I shot a limb last year that I looked at for 4 hours. Like, I probably need to cut that. But I didn't cut it.
Yeah, it's like the limb that you leave, and you're like, well, if I cut that one, it's going to kind of kill my cover. If I don't cut it, that deer's going to walk right there. Man, 100%. He's going to walk right behind the limb you don't cut.
Yeah, it's just like when you're duck hunting, and then you haven't seen a duck all day, and you go to take a whiz. And then all of a sudden, here come all the ducks. You're like, oh, really? Like, it takes me 15 seconds to pee. Like,
or you move the decoys.
Yeah, or you're like, the wind change. I gotta go move this decoy, and then like, ducks. You're like, of course.
Yeah,
but it's the same thing. Like, what can go wrong will go wrong. Like, and it's silly stuff most of the time. Most of the stuff is all preventable. But
I was gonna add, like, to me, like, this might be an unpopular opinion, but like, I avoid trimming limbs on a hanging hunt. Like I will choose a tree specifically like 5 yards away if it means that I'm gonna trim 3 less limbs or whatever. Like I don't know. I try and avoid it at all possible. It just makes a ton of noise. I agree with the scent part, Lucas. Like I think it spreads your scent just because you're sweating your butt off. So I just try and avoid it if I can at all possible. But like Jay said, I mean, at some point you just got to kind of make the decision and, go for it.
Right.
Kansas is also like a different beast. Like you're not, there's.
I was about to say, well, but there's not only that, but you're talking like, let's talk about northern deer versus southern deer.
Right.
Southern deer will get freaked out a lot quicker than northern deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was just with the Lindsays in Iowa. You set a ground blind up, In 2 days, they don't care about that thing.
Yeah.
You get in the South, it takes you 2 weeks to a month.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they sit there and look at it, and they're just stomping their hooves, man.
Yeah.
Even if you brush it in as best you can.
They'll avoid that spot for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get your own little crop circle around it if it's on the edge of a food plot because they ain't going in there that radius.
Well, I think in the Midwest there, like in Iowa, they're also used to, I mean, they're hunting ground vines probably on the field, and they're used to seeing combines and grain carts and everything moving in and out of the field. The best time to put your ground blind in there is right as soon as they finish combining it, because it looks like a piece of equipment out there. I wouldn't even brush it. I just leave it out there.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, those deer are used to people coming in and out farming.
Yeah.
And they're used to seeing, like last night or 2 nights ago, we were driving back from Ohio, and there's literally a deer eating right next to the combine. That, you know, and the field was half cut, and the deer is 10 yards from the combine. Like, it's just, I think it's just what they're conditioned to. Like in the South, like, I don't know, what's the South? Is Kentucky South or Midwest?
Nah, we're a neutral state. If you base it off the Mason-Dixon line in the Civil War, we were a neutral state. So I just don't think Kentucky gets tagged as anything, North or South. We're just out there.
All right, well, I've never hunted deer in the South, so that just disregard that.
Well,
I mean, I would say
in here to hunt.
I would say it's the same. I mean, they treat. I mean, I feel like anytime there's deer around a farm, they treat tractors and UTVs the same as they do, at least from what I've experienced up in Kentucky. It might not be as heavy because there's a lot more people down south that are going through the woods more frequently and stuff. But, I mean, I don't think it's much of a difference when it comes to that type of thing.
Well, where I'm hunting in the South, it's almost all mountain land, and I don't. My access cuts off just before you get down to the crops, and so man, hunting in the mountains is just incredibly harder than getting to access some crop fields where you can see what's going on. I saw a video the other day where a guy was doing some drone study, and he was looking at
That's the most popular dude in the deer hunting industry right now.
That's like the best thing ever. But he was watching these deer as they came in with a truck, and then as they came in with side by side, electric bicycle, and golf cart, and they were seeing how long it took the deer to come back to the field after they were interrupted by each one of those. And the most the thing that scared them the most was electric bicycle.
Yeah.
And I was kind of taken back because, of course, his rationale behind it, you think about it, they don't hear anything. They don't have any kind of notification. They turn around and there's something there, and it freaks them out, scares them to death. And he said that from their study, you have somebody drive in the truck, drop you off, and leave.
Yep.
And then you have them drive in, pick you back up, and leave, and that way it gets them out of the field. And I thought, man, it's stupid simple, but, you know, I thought, man, electric bicycle, I've seen the guys ride in before on the electric bicycles, and I thought, man, there's no way that would be, you know, the least effective. But you're not always blowing them out of a field either, you know. I mean, when I go 1 or 2 o'clock, I mean.
I think as hunters, we kind of cracked it up in our own heads a lot, you know, like we've gotten really specific and particular about a lot of stuff. And it's like, man, they really don't care. Like, you know, it used to be, oh, don't drive in there, get dropped off. You don't want a vehicle in there. And you started looking at it, you're like, no, that's the best way to get in and out. Yeah. You know, it's like me hanging a tree stand versus Jay hanging a tree stand. I'll sit there for 30 minutes. I don't know, this tree, that tree, here's the advantages. Jay's just like, yeah, that's good. And just throws it up in the tree. Yeah. He ain't got any problems killing big deer either. So, like, sometimes we just think about stuff too much.
Well, I mean, it's just like when I check trail cameras, I'm being loud as I can. Like, I'm not sneaking up in these woods to check a camera. That's like when you're sneaking, you're hunting. Yeah. Predator sneak. People walk through, you just make noise, be loud, let them know you're coming. Like you say, if they know you're coming, they're going to leave before you even get there. Yeah. And they're not going to spook out. They're just going to.
They'll just slide out the back. They're going to slide out the back door of their house, go hang out in the backyard, and then when you leave the house, they're going to go back in it.
Yeah. And then I think a lot of the hunting has gotten complicated. Like, your grandpa's killing them in a flannel shirt, man. You know what I mean? I mean,
It's
you
still
can
a
kill
pattern.
deer.
It's still a breakup of a solid outline.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, you can kill deer. Deer hunting can be as expensive or as cheap as you want it to be. It's just like fishing. Like you can buy $100,000 boat, or you can go buy a Zebco 33 and some worms, and you're gonna both of you gonna catch fish. It's just what do you want out of it,
Yeah.
But no, I'm with you on the electric stuff. Like, just be loud.
Well, like I've said that for a while. Like you're gonna go in and do something, just go in full force. Don't whisper. Like just talk normal. If you got a buddy with you, them deer will slide out and they'll slide right back in. They're not elk.
Leave the four wheeler
Oh, yeah.
running when you're doing something. Just leave it running.
Yeah.
Well, it's like last year we went out and we were doing a corn run out on our cameras before we left for during the rut. We were having our little break and we went out. Me and Clayton had the side by side going. There was a doe right there. She went off. We had the side by side going, but we turned the light off, and I had a bright red light on, and I turned it on, and I kept it on her, and we were watching her. She went 45 yards away, stayed right there. We turned the light on, kept driving, and I kept my red light on her, just watching her. Right as we drove past, she went right back to that corn pile.
Yeah, listen, we're not a threat until we get quiet and start sneaking around telling them we're a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That that's a good point, man. I had a buddy that he had some deer that were fenced, and he was raising them. And the stuff that you learn about deer when you can, I guess, be around them all the time like he was. It's amazing what you think you'll freak them out and everything, and you think they'll move to the next county or whatever. And man, they, especially around here, they got enough cover. They can move 40, 50 yards, and they're away from the threat. You can't see them. And, and then next thing you know, you're hunting a spot where they're not going to be anymore. They've scooted over. So
yeah, well, we've had Doug Roberts on Conquest Sense for a podcast. Obviously, he lives with deer in his backyard. Every comment on social media is, yeah, well, those are pen deer. That doesn't count. It's like, no, they mimic the wild deer. They do the exact same thing. It's not, right. Yeah, they're in a fence and they can't get out, but they still have the same habits ingrained into them.
Right. Well, what do you guys think about the acorn crop this year?
It's too many of them.
Man, it's flooded around here, man.
I've never seen so many. I don't think I've ever seen this many.
Well, see, you say that, and it's funny, but both our farm and the other farm we hunt, I mean, I've seen them on select trees, but like to me last year on my places, we had way more acorns.
I felt, that's what I was about to say. I feel like last year and the year before last, we were rolling our ankles walking around the woods. And I can't say much for this year because I haven't really had enough time to be able to go out in the woods because of ball season going the way it did. But I've heard that this year was one of those years where it's like y'all are saying, where it's a plethora of acorns out in the woods right now.
Yeah, it's like walking on marbles. In southeast Ohio, I was just over there, and there's real yellow ones. Have you seen them yellow ones out there? They're everywhere. It looks like someone dropped a bunch of popcorn on the ground. And you're driving your four wheeler and it's cracking like peck, 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 peck. Like they're crushing them. And that's what the deer are eating. You're allowed to bait, like you can bait and everything, but they're gonna eat an acorn. And if there's that many acorns,
the feed tree.
Yeah, there's that many acorns. They're not gonna, deer rather eat an acorn than regular corn. It'll still come, but
you know what? So speaking of. We had that deer show up with the giant body. We've had corn out. I haven't seen him show up to corn yet, and I don't know any of the neighbors that corn. So that deer, wherever he's at, must be on a pile of acorns. Hold on, Lucas. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna pull this clip up and show you the body of this Kentucky deer. It's ridiculous.
Well, hey, and you remember the picture of the buck before they started growing horns that just had the little nubs with the fat body? I bet you that was him. That we got over there next to the
wherever
pond.
he's at, he's been eating a lot of acorns.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'd rather hunt a farm that had no acorns.
Yeah, last year we had 0 acorns. The deer here were starving to death, and we have some mountain laurel and some privet, and they were just living off that stuff. And you could take. I was taking some feed in and throwing out just to give them something to eat, and they would literally run up and just sit there and watch for you to leave. You could see them, and that, I mean, it's like they weren't scared of you. They were starving. But this year, good grief, we went up just a while ago and was putting together some video to send in for hunter safety system, the saddles and stuff. And man, I mean, this year you're literally going to have to move around and try to figure out which ones they're eating now. Look for the droppings and things like that, which, you know, that always gives me a little anxiety, because you go stomping all over the mountain, you're leaving scent everywhere, and but you have to, or you're just literally just shooting in the dark, you know.
Yeah.
Well, look, the acorns are just like food plots. If you put like one section of your food plot in one thing, another section another thing, it's going to be preferred at different times. And same thing with trees, right? I mean, different trees are going to be dropping at different times. It could change on up to a daily basis.
Right.
But I mean, we talked to someone, and the amount of information that's out there now, because like when the acorns are real heavy, that's the October lull, or what we used to call it. But there's so much information out there now that if you've got the perfect storm and the right conditions, you get in the middle of October when what we used to call the lull, you get, especially like the right oak tree dropping acorns, you can kill a giant, and he'll be predictable for at least a few days or a week or two when those acorns are dropping heavy.
Yeah.
All right, check this out. I got this video loaded.
Whoa.
Look at the body on that thing.
Yeah, he's massive.
Fatty, bro.
Better shoot him with a fixed blade.
You better shoot him with a bazooka. I don't know what you're talking about. Fixed blade.
I got a heavy enough arrow for him. I don't think it'll matter.
We can't start this argument too.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's just dive right in, boys.
But it's just another argument. Are we going momentum or speed or kinetic energy or whatever you want to do?
I'm going with whatever will poke a hole in them, buddy.
If you can have all of it, it don't matter if you pull a strong enough bow back.
Yeah, well, there you go. Now you just picked up another argument.
Well, I'm guilty of that. I went to 80-pound limbs this year, so I'm doing the Cam Haynes thing. I've got 27.5-inch draw length, and I shot a really nice buck in Illinois year before last, and man, iron wheel broadhead. I had pro comp arrows. 440 grain arrow, and that dude was 27 yards, and I couldn't get him stopped. He was right on her tail, man. He was telling her, and when I shot, he put his arm back. I hit him right in that shoulder blade, and when he ran off, I thought I hit him high, because every time he would run, of course, the arrow looked like it was sticking up high in his body. Man, it just made me sick. Lost him, never found him. But so I thought, well, all right, I'm going up to 80-pound limbs. I'm gonna do what I can to raise this kinetic energy.
Yeah, because I'm interested to see what mine's got. I mean, I'm shooting 474 grain arrows with a 76.1 pound draw. So I'm interested to see what happens when I stick a deer.
All right, now let me show you the other side of this conversation. Jay, what are you shooting? What's your arrow weight and broadhead weight and all that?
My arrow is like it's not lighter. It's in between. It's 400 and maybe 36 grains or something. It's between 430 and 440.
I see. I'm surprised, because I thought you were going to say, I don't know, man. I know it's hitting right.
The only reason I know how much it weighs is because Travis weighed my arrows. I would never weigh my arrows. I don't care.
Like Jay and I
That's
are
the
more
only
like,
reason I know too.
It's kill mode, cool.
I know it's chronos at 296 because Travis has a chronograph, and he's like, let's see how fast it is.
Oh man, that poor dude. He set all our bows up, and he's like, "Yeah, walk back tuning this, that, and the other. He's like, you gonna tune those broadheads, make sure they're shooting right." I'm like, nah, it's fine. It's hitting the pie plate. We're good.
I was guilty of that for a long time, and I was, had a bad run of luck, and I was like, all right, I've got to start eliminating some error here, and so I started tuning my own bow. I got everything set up in my shop out here, and I started tuning my broadheads, and my percentage went way up. I mean, I was definitely hitting more of what I was shooting at, because I was having I had some expandables that were tracking off to the left, and anyways, man, my luck was poor enough without not doing my homework and making sure everything was dialed in.
Yeah. Well, see, so you mentioned you hit that deer in the shoulder. And this isn't a knock on you, but I think one of the biggest mistakes hunters make in general is when we aiming at that deer, we're all gravitating towards that shoulder, man. And it's like, look, if you hit between the front legs and the back legs, that deer will die. He might not die in 30 minutes. He might die 6 hours from now, but he's dead, right?
Middle of the body.
Yeah.
Middle of the body, too.
Right, but you get my point. Left and right is what I'm saying. Like, so you don't have to tuck it right behind that shoulder. Like,
Yeah, but it feels good. That's where you go. You put it in that pocket.
When you thread that needle right in between those bones right there, there's not a better feeling when you skin that deer open.
It's better to double long them than hard shoot them anyways.
Yep. That's why when you go to a 3D shoot, the 14 ring is the top of that back both lungs.
Me and a buddy of mine were talking about it earlier this year, and I said, man, I don't know if I have a big one step out this year if I just don't gut shoot him. I mean, it's, you're going to find them that way for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing it could get you is if you deflect off a rib and it doesn't go in, if it's like a quartering shot of some sort. I had that happen once.
Yeah.
Jay, you helped me look for that deer. Remember that?
Yeah, I missed college classes for that.
I mean, I almost feel like the shot, it more matters of knowing for, like, shooting low enough to get ready for the duck. If they're weary. If they're not weary, you don't really have to worry about that as much. But if they're on edge,
you're thinking.
If they're on edge, I mean, if they're on edge, they're gonna drop. You kind of have to be prepared for the drop. So I mean, I feel like that's why tucking the shot down low in between the bones is kind of pivotal, because if they drop, you're gonna at least have room for error. But
yeah, I tend to shoot towards the armpit. Just like right in the armpit there, because, they'll drop right into it. And then, of course, you aim for the armpit, the deer doesn't drop. And then, so it's one of those things. I mean, it just luck would have it.
The way I approach it is just like 6 inches back, middle of the body, gives you the most margin of error. If the deer ducks, you still kill him. If he doesn't duck, you hit him in the middle of the lungs. If you shoot low or misjudge it, you still hit him.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting there like, I wonder if he's going to duck, I wonder if he's not going to duck, you're not where you need to be.
That's
you
true.
need to be killing this deer, right? Like this is not a math problem. We got to shoot him right now kind of deal. Right. So it's more of a reaction. It's muscle memory. It's a reaction. Like you do it so much and you shoot so much that you don't even remember shooting. You just did it because that's what you've been done over years and years. And it's like firefighting. That's what you train on, right?
Right.
You just start doing stuff, and they're like, why'd you do that? You're like, well, I don't even know. That's just what you do. Right. I didn't even think about it. That's just what you do.
Yeah. And, and change the subject a little bit, like back to the saddle thing. When I went through driver school, learning to drive, they just ingrain in you, pop the brake, pump gear, wheel chock down, turn your pump coolers on, tank to pump, and then go for your pre-connect lines and everything, whatever. And so it's such a routine that it's like you do it over and over and over and over. And so 3 o'clock in the morning, alarm goes off, we respond, you pull up, house is on fire. You don't have to think about what you're doing. You just blow through that routine. And so I applied that to my saddle hunting, where you go up to the tree, you do the same thing. I have things in specific pockets for specific reasons, and I have a strict routine, because closing the gate on the carabiners and doing everything right is, it's imperative. You have to stay hooked. That's one of the other things that I did like about the saddle hunting. Man, I'm not gonna lie, when I'm climbing in a climber and I'm running late, the sun's coming up, am I gonna fool with a tether around the tree the whole time? No. Now I'm getting in the tree, and then we'll worry about safety once I'm set up. With this, I have to be tethered in. That's how I climb. And so
there's 2 points of connection too, so you're always connected to the tree. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, it makes me be safe, and ordinarily, man, I'm not that smart, So
yeah.
That's a calculated risk.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the old adage, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. My wife hates it when I say that, but it's true. So, like, you're starting to learn a saddle, you're doing it slow. But when you learn how to do it slow, it's smooth, and then you work your way through the process to where you learn it, and you're just smooth and fast, smooth and fast, smooth and fast. Just like we're talking about with shooting a big buck. Like, you got to get used to at deers in range. Like, don't be thinking about all this other stuff. Just get in the zone and go.
I started
When
shooting.
I would say, go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Dennis.
I started shooting 5 arrows every morning before work, walk out on cold barrel, just go out, do 5 shots, and then put it up and go to work. And it just works on that muscle memory, draw back, get into my anchor point, tip nose on the string, pull against the back wall, boom. And that way, when a deer walks out, it's like you were saying, Jay, I used to make a math problem out of it. It's like, how far is he? Where's he at? Is he going to jump? And I would just overthink the crap out of it. And then ultimately, I'll booger the shot up,
Yeah.
So it's
Going
really
back to what I was saying, when I say like the things I say for the shot, I'm not going through that. That's just my point. When I get there and I'm about to make a shot on this deer at whatever yardage he's at, that's where my focal point goes to. That's where I want my pin to float, is right there. Like that's my aiming point. It's not necessarily me thinking about he's gonna duck it, he's gonna do any of this. It's just that's where I want my arrow to go if he doesn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think long, you think wrong. That's my motto.
Yeah, that is true. And that goes into, whenever they come in, it's like, man, is that the one? Am I going to wait? It's the first day. That's when I always see, the best deer is on the first day, when you get up there. It's like, man, I think I can do better than that. And then, of course, by day 3, you're kicking yourself like, I should have shot that thing, But
Yeah.
I usually don't have that problem. I'm the one dumb enough to single out a deer, and every other deer gets a pass, and I don't think twice about it or regret it at the end of the season. Zach, where'd you hit your
Yeah, I
deer?
killed one on Sunday.
Zach killed one the other night.
I hit him high, just through the top of the lungs. But it was a far shot. It was like 42 yards, and he ducked a decent amount. But I hit him through the top of the lungs still. So I actually set my bow up to shoot just an inch or two low across all of my distances, just so when I am in that shot sequence, I don't have to think about like aiming low. I can just, I can find my point, and if he does duck, I've got that extra inch or two of room there. So
yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. Mine shoots high. I like to shoot my pin like a gun. Like I want the arrow to hit above my pin, like an open sight rifle. You know what I mean? That's just,
yeah,
but
it's
that's
whatever,
just
whatever
a
you feel,
personal
whatever
thing.
works for you.
That's just whatever you want. But that's funny that I'm just the complete opposite. Like I like my pin under if I'm shooting dots, like my pin's right under. I want to be able to see where I want to hit. Like I don't want the pin blocking where I want to hit. Like I just know like right there.
Meanwhile, I've never even thought that deep into it.
I was wanting the smallest pin I could possibly get, the .10s, because I was wanting to put it right on it. And it's like, man, then the .10s, they're the first ones to disappear, whenever it gets close to dark. And so it's like you go up on pin size and you get to where you hold underneath it. So that's kind of where I'm at.
That's what I do. You can't. The .1's good for like if you shoot like competition dots.
Yeah.
I would sit like in a nice lighted environment. But then when you get in the woods, like you say, it just doesn't pull enough, sunlight to light that optic up at dark.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Lucas, let's talk for a few minutes what you see, because you're hunting Alabama and Illinois. We can all talk a little bit about what we see coming with the rut here as we're recording this on October 17th. It'll air here in a week or two. But we'll do that, and then you can walk us through some specific stuff with the hunter safety system saddle.
Okay.
So, I mean, you got anything you like in Illinois? I mean, where do you see the deer at? You think the acorns are going to affect where you're going to be hunting this year during the rut? I mean,
well, and at our farm in Illinois this year, the crops were they're hit or miss. The people that got the crops in early, they've got a pretty good, had a pretty good stand of corn and beans, but it started raining right as everybody was putting the crops in. So a lot of the fields got planted late, and then the low portions were really wet, and so the fields are just not looking good this year. The crops aren't very good. You know, and of course we've got tons of crops on our farm that we're hunting, and so not as many places for them to get to acorns. And so I feel like they're starting to combine the corn. They're getting it knocked down. They'll have that eaten up pretty good. I think we're going to wind up, unless if the rut hits second week in November like it's supposed to, we'll still have crops for them to eat in the field. There'll be some beans and stuff laying around, but if it drags out just a little bit, we're gonna be leaning on food plots.
Now, when you say rut, what do you mean by rut? Because we've posted a couple posts recently. We say the rut, and I think everyone has this. I don't know. I'm not going to say misconception. Everyone uses the rut to define a different thing. Right. You're either defining the rut as in the whole window, like October 24th through November 25th, or the rut is peak breeding.
All right. Well, where we're at, Halloween, those 29th through 31st right in there, those are some good days always to hunt. And really can't put a finger on why, but it's like once it crosses into November, it kind of dies off. You'll see some doe and stuff like that. It'll die off, and then around the 12th through the 15th, that's when I go back and look at all the pictures that we've taken of where people have killed some big deer. That's when it happened. Last year, it was like more into the first week, and the rut was sort of junky last year where I was at. I mean, we had some buck movement. It was hot. But yeah, it was warm. It just didn't, just wasn't that good. And then I've seen some videos where everybody's like, "Oh, everything's 2 weeks early this year." Man, I don't know. You want to run back up and hunt first week in November, but then if it's not, then you're in the second week in November. Well, then shotgun opens, and it's like it turns into you're gone for the whole month, and you got to get back home because the wife's mad at you and everything else.
Yeah. I think the acorns, like Jeff Lindsay and I talked about this. Like, if you got a lot of oaks on where you're hunting, man, go in there and get that stand ready now, because if them acorns stick around or another tree's dropping late, you could have some good activity in there, and you sure don't want to have to be setting it up when it's November 7th. You want to be able to hunt. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, we don't hunt. I mean, we don't have. Jay's got ag that he hunts down on the river, but where we're at, there's no ag. So I was telling Graham this morning, I was like, there's no. I mean, within 5 miles of us, the only thing that they got to eat in fields is this either stuff growing natural or it's stuff that we've planted on our place specifically. No one else does anything.
That's another good reason getting your saddle. You don't have to worry about presets.
And when you're saddle hunting, if you're hunting the rut, are you more prone to use a grunt tube, a rattle? What's your kind of go to during the rut when you're hunting?
I'll definitely have the grunt tube. I try not to do a whole lot of calling, unless I just have to. If they're way out there and I'm trying to get their attention to try to draw them in, I'll blow the reeds out of a grunt call. I've had 50% maybe success with it. A lot of times they'll just ignore it, especially if they're on a doe or something. I've rattled some in Illinois and had some success with that. But man, when you rattle, somehow or another, man, those deer, they know exactly where you are when you rattle bag. And so then a lot of times there'll be deer right there in proximity. Then you see a good one out there. So what do? Do you blow these deer up to try to get him in? And so a lot of times I'll just sort of err on the side of caution, just leave it in the bag.
Yeah. I think it's 50-50 for me. It's situational how I feel. It's like, I don't know, my board, let's get the rattle bag out. Did I just hear a couple other bucks fighting? All right, let's do something to call at them, even though I can't see them. Like, I don't know. But now, Zach, you hunt Kansas. So that is a different ball game out there,
Yeah.
buddy.
Although, to be honest with you, I've had really good luck in Kentucky, specifically with rattling. This buck behind me, I rattled that deer in on November 20th. But yeah, Kansas is a different beast. I mean, generally in Kansas, when I'm in the stand, you know, really any time after November 1st, I'm rattling, you know, depending on what the stand location is and how the farm sets up and, you know, public versus private, I'm rattling, you know, once an hour or maybe once every hour and a half. Like, it's just it's crazy out there how far the bucks really travel, especially in like the more open areas. And obviously Kansas is, you know, really varied across the entire state, and we hunt more in the western end of it. But you know, when they got to travel a really long ways across open distances, like rattling is huge.
Yeah, they're meaner. I mean, like where we hunt in Ohio, the doe density's lower too. The deer density's lower, so they're more aggressive. Like we're at Kentucky, there's so many deer, like they don't have to work as hard to get a doe. That's a big difference.
Well, that was like last year for me when I had that drop tine buck came out. I mean, it was a sequence of I pulled the rattle bag out, I hit my rattle bag, and then immediately I had 2 does come running, a little 6-point, 3 more does, and then the drop tine 8 was right behind them. And they all went to a feed tree 90 yards away from me. He checked all the does, none of them were hot. I pulled my grunt tube out, I grunted at him, and he came on a beeline right to me. And he's just behind some cedars, and my stand slipped, and then he boogered out. So, I mean, it was kind of a sequence of that, of kind of both. I mean, even when I killed my buck, when I first came up and hunted with Clayton, I rattled, I hit a grunt tube with a doe bleat, and 15, 20 minutes later, that deer came in to check to where if there was any does coming into the feed. So...
That wasn't no saddle hunt. That was I got a walking boot on. I got to sit in a blind hunt.
Yeah, I was 2 months fresh out of foot surgery.
Yeah, we didn't have a choice. I had to drop him off with a vehicle on that one.
Yep.
I'm gonna borrow your boot. See if I can get some of that love.
I got spoiled on that one. I got driven to the stand. He dragged my deer out for me.
Sweet.
Good thing it didn't go that far in the woods.
Yeah, for real. Oh goodness! All right, Lucas. Did you have a chance to film anything with the hunter safety system stuff yet, or no? If not, it's not a big deal.
I went and filmed some stuff this morning, and I filmed it on my phone or whatever. I was going to shoot it over to you. I videoed the platform and the slap strap. You know, the price point on these saddles are great. I mean, they're, you know, about every saddle company out there. They're about $300 is the bottom floor for most of them, and you know these are a couple $100. I mean they're a cheaper saddle, but you're not giving up anything now. I mean, you know, you've got the, you know, I'm not going to bash on anybody. They got great looking saddles out there. They're sharp. I mean, beautiful. The branding and stuff is great. These are sort of a no frills as far as that goes, saddle, but man, they're light. They're stupid light, and they got a lot of flexibility to them, and man, they're comfortable. And so it's almost like it's just like a simple option. Sometimes too many adjustments and too many options can get confusing. And I think if you're wanting to try a saddle, if you want to see if you like it, man. I mean, I've hunted out of literally every one of them, and I'm hunting out of the hunter safety system, and it's not because I have to. They're not paying me to hunt out of it. It's comfortable, and they're.
Well, it's like we talked about before. Don't make it a math problem, right?
Yeah, and you know they got a 2-panel that's coming out that is, it's awesome, and I'm not just saying that because I'm, you know, friends with those guys. It's slam dunk. I mean, it is the best saddle I've ever sat in. Got to hunt out of it in Kentucky last year. My buddy Doug wound up taking it away from me, and I haven't been able to get it back. So, but it's the bottom panel on it increased the size of it, and just the material that it's made out of man, that thing it's great.
Yeah. Okay, well, if you want to walk us through some specific features, like I know when I was on the phone with Jay, he'd mentioned something like about the slap strap. I guess people like just kind of misunderstand either how to use it, what it's used for, and they get it, and then they get a bad product review online. So I think we're trying to kind of speak to that kind of stuff. So give me a second here. I'll give you a pitch in, and then you can just take it from there. And what we can do is you can send me that video, and I can pop some of that in, and then we can also next weekend or that first week in November when Graham and I are together, we can film some stuff on our end as well. So if it's needed. All right, so Lucas, you were hunting out of the Hunter Safety System saddles. Can you kind of give me a walkthrough of their whole system they got? Because, like, for example, if you go on their website, they got the kitchen sink option, and it's got just about everything. And for someone like me that really hasn't saddle hunted much, I don't exactly know what I do or don't need.
Right.
And how to use this thing and what features I'm looking for. So can you kind of help me out there?
Yeah. The slap strap is they've put the lineman's rope and the tether all in one, and it's like it's a spring loaded deal like the slap bracelets, that were around when we were kids.
Like a tape measure.
Yeah. And so you take and you hang the slap strap on the tree, and that's one thing, Graham, I'm sure you've experienced. When you set your tether, it'll fall on you. If it's a slick bark tree, and if whenever you lean forward to like take a look or something, you'll have that tether it'll tend to drop down. And they've got some little pieces that you can clip and try to hold it in place. And I've tried a couple different things, and that's probably the biggest pain is your tether trying to drop out on you all the time. And so they got the slap strap, and it's spring loaded where it grabs the tree, and then you got your lineman and your tether. They're right here inside and they're encased in the fabric to where you've got some anti-chafing. You don't have to worry about your ropes rubbing on the tree and getting torn up. They got it's listed on there exactly what it is as far as the lineman and tether, so that you don't get them confused. And then once you hang this on the tree, that thing it sits there and waits for you. And so if you are doing a multi-stick deal, as you go up, whenever you set your lineman rope, a lot of times that lineman rope, as you climb, it's dropping down low on you also, and you got to kind of keep it up, and you're trying to stay leaned back, and then you're having to reach around for the strap, and then it falls back down. Well, this thing holds them just right there. So as you're climbing, that's just one less thing you got to fool with. And you got straps and ropes, and it can kind of become a little bit of a tangle, and this just kind of helps to isolate that. You can go ahead and throw the tether together, and you can have it hooked to your bridge and just kind of leave it loose. But as you climb, man, if you had a kick out, if something happened, the lineman's rope will swing you into the tree, but it doesn't connect all the way. And so that tether is connected. So it'll drop you a little bit, but that tether will bite, and it's going to keep you from falling. And
I got to imagine too, it's going to make it 10 times easier putting your sticks on and your platform, because it's keeping your ropes out of the way. I have a big problem with excess rope getting up in straps.
Right. And so as you go up, and what we were intending to do was eliminate the pouches on your hips. Those pouches are nice, but like if you go to spin around to put the rope over your shoulder, you're rubbing the tree. And so you're already dealing with a smaller platform, Jay. That's kind of what your complaint was the small platform. Well, you add size to your hips. Well, now you've just made that platform seem even smaller. It's just something else to be in the way. So you've got to have a gear strap, because once you get up there, you got to put a gear strap to hang your backpack and then to hang your quiver off of, and then you want to hang your grunt call and all that stuff. Well, this is your gear strap. Once you get up to the top, you slide these back, and now you've got rope mollies here, and then you have regular mollies on this side where you can do the little S-beaners on it. And so now your gear strap is already hung, so you don't have to wait to take your backpack off and like try to dig around for a gear strap and hang it and then take your backpack off. Everything's already hanging there for you. And so it eliminates some of the stuff that you have to carry, because that's the whole name of the game is, when even if you're wanting to hang and bang with a lock on, man, the less stuff you can carry, the better, And so that was the intent with it, was to, you got your gear strap, you got your ropes taken care of. It makes it a safer way to climb, and it's whether you're hunting out of a tree stand, and you throw your, you can you can use that lineman with your little hip loops on a 5-point harness, a regular hunter safety system harness. You can use that on your hips already, that way as well. And so it just really kind of helps to eliminate things. Like when you look at it here, you got ropes kind of hanging everywhere out of it because they're out of the bags. But once you have them attached and on you, it really cleans things up. And but there again, don't buy this thing and go straight to the woods with it. You'll hate it, because
Gotta practice.
I mean, you have to put this stuff on a tree, figure out what works best for you, climb around with it, and then you go to the tree to hunt. Everything is nice and fluid and smooth. And so, and then the Defender saddle, I got it here. It has the pleat in the back that opens up to give you a lot more room. It has the hook.
It's for them big booty fellas like Graham.
Yeah.
Got all that tater, dude. So gas.
Hey, they don't call me Sasquatch in a tree for nothing.
But it's got the waist belt, and we went ahead and sewed the lineman's loops onto the waistband, because a lot of times your bridge loops get kind of confused with your lineman loops, and so we put some orange on the inside of them so you could differentiate whenever you're up there and you got a headlamp on, you're trying to figure out what's what, you hook it into the right spot. It ain't going to kill you to hook them into the bridge loops. It's just kind of get you crossed up. So we went ahead and sewed those so they were stationary where you could find them, and that works out good. I mean, the adjustability right here on the sides where on the bridge loops where you can adjust it up and down, the higher you go on these bridge loops, the more pressure it's going to put up on your back, and it's going to take it off of your bottom of your legs. If you want a little more pressure down bottom, just scoot it down. I normally just kind of keep mine in the middle, and it works either way. But man, I tell you, this stuff here, it doesn't, we've also got the thumb loops down here on the bottom. So like, after you stand up, you constantly have to pull this thing back down under your legs when you want to kind of sit back down in it. And having some thumb loops right there, man, I mean, because if you're trying to slide your fingers in here and grab at it, it's frustrating. So we sewed the thumb loops on the side, and like I said, man, did a really good job with the design. You got the leg straps on it, and man, with the leg straps, I'll buckle these behind me when I'm walking in, because anytime this thing hits me in the back of the legs or whatever, I feel like my pants are falling down, and so I'll buckle that stuff behind me, and I'll pull my bridge all the way up tight to get everything pulled in as tight as I can for the walk in. And before I start climbing, you just unbuckle these and just wrap them around your legs before you climb. But man, it's the other thing is the suspenders that they sell with it, kind of like with the hunter safety system harness. Dude, when the old harnesses that we had, they were a tangled mess. When you pull them out of your scent-free bag, they're in a ball, and you're trying to figure out how to put them on in the dark.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the saddle, when you step through the bridge and you're trying to get it put on, of course, if you got the bags on your hips, it's even worse. It's trying to fall down. If I can hold it by the suspenders and then step through it and then slide it up and put it on, I mean, it just makes it 100% easier for me. And then when you're in the tree, if you're sitting there and you need to unbuckle it for a minute to pull your jacket down through and everything, your saddle's not trying to fall down. Your slap strap's holding your ropes up, so it's not going anywhere. So it just makes it a lot safer, a lot easier to use.
For the slap strap, do you feel like you're wearing it on your body walking in? Do you put it in your backpack? Like, what have you found works best?
You can do either one. You can strap it, like hook it around your backpack, or you can just like put it around your body right there. And it I mean, it's going to grab on and hold on to you. And so it's easy to transport. That's the other thing. And it's like as soon as you get there, that's the first thing I do, pop it on the tree. And now your ropes are set, they're out of the way. And then you just kind of start assembling your kit right there on the ground. The other thing you can do, you can use the thing as a deer drag. I tried that last year. I was coming out, pouring down rain, and I put it on frontwards, and I ran my rope back and just put it through behind the knees of a doe and just leaned into it and used it as a deer drag. Man, it worked great as that too.
Hey, Graham, guess what? We're going to put it on backwards. When I shoot that big fat buck, you get to drag my deer out this year. I'm going to watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna be busy that day.
You better bring the boot.
I got stuff to do, man.
Oh, gosh. That's pretty
Gotta
cool.
get my
Yeah,
workout in at the farm somehow.
Yeah. The slab strap, I think, is the thing that interested me the most. Like, I was looking at that. I was like, I might buy that just to have to hang on my stuff on, even when I'm hunting in a lock on.
Yeah.
Like, that's so handy.
Well, and you know, even if you're using a climber, that's the other thing. I mean, I know you guys have hunted out of climbers too. They have a single rope slap strap that's just the tether. And so as you're climbing, you know, you picking up and sitting down, you just scoot that thing up. And so you don't have to worry about it falling down and your tree stand like biting into it and tearing your ropes up and stuff. And let's face it, man, I mean, you know, the one thing that's keeping us from hitting the ground are these ropes, you know. And I know when I first started, yeah, I get on Amazon, right? And I pick me up a piece of Kernmental rope and I get it in, and then I spend all this money on a saddle and on the platforms and all that stuff. And one of my buddies, he works in the fire department with me, and he was like, man, you know, you've spent the least amount of money on the most important part. You got a cheap piece of rope. And I was like, you know, you're right. And so that's, you know, everybody's trying to save money. I mean, you know, you want to be in it as cheap as possible, but man, I tell you what, that is the last thing I want to save money on is ropes. And that's one thing that's cool about Hunter Safety System. That's a great bunch of guys. And I don't know if many people even realize, man, they spend a ton of money on this third-party testing. I don't know if everybody's doing that. There's not a whole lot of advertisement about it. But I know back when I was a kid, when they first came out with their harnesses, man, they were testing those things and dropping them with all this weight on them and everything else. And I mean, it was just incredible the what they would tolerate and not break. And so, you know, like their carabiners, everything that they have, they send them off for third party testing to make sure that they're tough. And so, you know, like I said early on, you know, I'm on Amazon, I'm buying these, you know, the cheaper carabiners and ropes and stuff, and then it kind of dawned on me, it's like, man, that's probably don't want to save money in that department.
Lucas, you talked about the gear strap too. How do you kind of set that up? Like, what have you found works best for you as far as like what you're using to actually hang stuff and like how you arrange it?
Well, my gear strap, I like for my gear strap to be above my tether rope, because ordinarily, like if I'm one sticking in like my rappel rope, you know, it'd be above it. In this case, your ropes are encased inside of it, so it's going to be kind of right there. And then something that I failed to mention, like when you finish climbing, you take your lineman's off, and you can hook those two together and pull it through to where it hangs down on one side so that your tender hitch knot is adjustable. Well, now you can hang your backpack off that side of the tree. So if you're right or left-handed, whichever side. Well, I always like to drop my backpack down at about my knee, so it's one less thing I have to worry about being in the way when I shoot. And then I always hang my arrows above my backpack, you know, on that carabiner. And then around the other side, you know, I take my binoculars off now, and I hang them on my gear strap off of one of the mollies. It's just one less thing to be in my way. And so, and grunt call, sometimes I'll set it in the edge of the backpack. Sometimes I'll hang it from one of the front loops on that thing. You know, you have these big loops right here on the very front. I'll usually have binoculars on one, grunt call on the other if I want it right there readily available. But I try not to have a whole lot of stuff dangling from it, because then it, you know, kind of becomes like duck calls. They'll be banging together.
And then you just
What do you do for
I
your?
was just gonna say, and then just traditional
go
bow
ahead.
hanger for the bow, or
That's
Yeah.
what I was about to ask.
Yeah, and like usually, I either have something that I screw in. That was something that we're kind of working on. I was on Michael and them about it. I was like, hey, we got to get some sort of bow holder to go with it. You can hook one into the molly on this thing, and it's definitely stout enough to hold your bow. They don't offer one right now, but of course, there's plenty on the market out there.
Yeah, those carabiner type ones that fold out.
Yeah, that too. I mean,
I-
if you get the big S beaners, you can take the wire off the one on the outside, and you can just hang that hanging off one of your limbs.
Yeah.
What stick do you like to use?
Well, I've got a few different ones because man, I went down the rabbit hole whenever I was getting started trying to figure out what I wanted and what I liked. I started out with a Timber Ninja, and actually I started out with Hawk sticks, and they were a little heavy. The way that they fold out like that. I definitely like a double, and then something that I kind of figured out was the standoff really makes a big difference. How far off the tree, so that you're not standing right on the tip of your toes. Trying to do everything. So then I got the Timber Ninja because that thing was like, I think it's less than a pound. And so
Is it like a 20-inch stick or?
I think it's a 17, and and I did a 2-step aider. I did the ultimate aider off of that, and I was using it, and I was using a Long Wolf platform, the Long Wolf Custom, and it's huge. It's a really big platform, big and wide, almost the size. It is the size of a lock-on that you would ordinarily use. You normally stand right in front of the seat anyway. You barely ever get all the way out on the end of a lock-on, and so it was good size. And then I went to a Shikar stick because you could fold the steps up straight in line with it, and so it was a little easier to pack. Hunt Arsenal's got probably the best aider out there. They got the big plastic aiders that stick off the tree. That's one of the things that's tough is, as the aiders hang down in your standoffs, I like a tree that leans back just a little. And so it puts them right against the tree. So you're kind of, you're reaching for them with your toes. And those Hunt Arsenal ones, man, they sit against the tree and they got the glow in the dark strips on them. Those things are awesome. They work really good. And then I went with a one stick for a little while. I got a mobile sniper. And it's got the cam cleat. I was a little scared of the cam cleat thing. That what do they call that thing? That Harken, the Harken cam cleat, where you just pull the rope through it. And I was watching one of the videos, or I was at a mobile road show. The mobile road shows, if you're even thinking about it, you got to go make it to one of the mobile road shows because that's the one place where you get to get in and sit in and stand on and use everything, and can get a feel for it before you spend the money. But the mobile sniper, you just throw the rope around, pull it through the cam cleat, and it's got like a 6-inch. Sorry, the dog's barking. Got like a 6-inch platform, and then it has the other platform that pops off, and you can hang it off of your saddle. So when you get in the thing, you can add to it. So now you got like a foot platform is 1 foot by 14 inches, something like that. It's huge. That thing's great. Mobile sniper, great stick. Then Hunter Safety, I got with them and started working with them on coming up with this. They built their platform, started using their platform. I went back to the Shikar stick, and now I'm between it and the Timber Ninja. And I'll still throw the mobile sniper in there, man. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's got the tilted down front just like this. If if it's a spot where, if just depending on what I'm doing, where I'm going, how far I'm walking, stuff like that. But it all packs up real easy. And man, I really can't say that any of the stuff there that I've used that it's like, no, I wouldn't use that again. I mean, all of it is good stuff.
All right, so we've talked for an hour and a half now about saddle hunting. Jay Bird, what do you think now? Now that you've heard, we've sat and discussed it more, you visualize it in your head.
Oh, I mean, I'll get in the thing. I mean, I just don't have one. Well, like you said, I'm not gonna buy a $400 saddle when I got a.
That was what got me. I'm like, what? I'm not spending $400, $500, $600 on a saddle. I can get
I got
how
a
many tree stands
$500
for that?
lone wolf. You know what I mean? I got 2 of them. You know, you got it, and I got sticks. But it's just like my cousins and all them. They got them, but I don't know. Like, essentially, like if I could wear it in, obviously, then I don't got to carry a stand, right? And that's a
the big
deal.
thing that got me. Like, okay, let me ask you this, Lucas. So you've done hang and bangs with stands before, and you've done saddle hunting. What would you say your percentage differences on time getting set up is?
Man, I can definitely be in a saddle quicker.
What do you think, like 20% faster?
At least.
Yeah.
You know, I've gotten the the Amsteel daisy chains, and the Amsteel guy, he's, you know, all that stuff's awesome too. And when you go with the Amsteel, you throw it around, hook it, push it down, and you're in. It's completely silent, no buckles. I mean, it's like carrying friggin' shoestring in your pocket. It's crazy how light that stuff is. And so, you know, as you get it and you start to figure out, okay, this is lighter, this is better. I mean, it's crazy how strong that stuff is too. But yeah, your time of setting up it's quicker. The platform is smaller, so like when I throw the rope around and hook it up, you fold the platform down. It's easier to get up on the platform to me than it is a lock on, because you don't have the cables in the way. You know, you can step right on the thing, and then the way that it locks in to the tree, it bites the tree. I've never hunted out of the Lone Wolf tree stand. I'm sure it's awesome because everything they build is great. But the way that you can get all the way off the corner of these platforms and push into them, they're loaded. The way you load them up and bite them into the tree, I mean, it's cutting the bark on them. You know, it bites in so hard. And so just the stability factor there to me, and it's, you know, it's like Graham was talking about. I've never laid all the way out of a lock on to make a shot. I wouldn't even think about it really. And I would do that every day. Your mobility is just better. You're not constantly trying to not lose your footing. You're hanging from it the whole time. So
I film, so I'm used to hanging off the back of a lock on, or I do one of these when I'm hunting myself and I get tired.
Yeah.
I'll just lean into that vest over the front of the stand.
Yeah.
I'll just rely on that vest and I'll just sleep like this.
Yeah, man, for filming, I can't think of a better way to do the filming than a saddle, because you know you can swing, you know, with the camera arm and stuff like that. And like hunting with a kid, dude, I was taking my daughter and she'd sit in the ladder. I'd get in the saddle right beside her, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what's got me excited. Like you said, Jay, like, I mean, you don't have to carry a stand in. You're cutting down on the weight you carry in, which you're cutting down on sweat. You're cutting down on scent.
And stands make noise when there's a lot more banging around.
That's
right?
the one thing that'll get a deer quicker than anything is the sound of metal hitting together.
Yeah, metal hitting metal.
Yeah.
And the mobility with it. I mean, like Lucas was saying at the beginning. I mean, it's if you see something in that morning and you see every deer's crossing in this section, it allows you to get down, move, and make a quick adjustment. You can't really do that with a stand and probably still see deer that unless it's 4 or 5 hours later.
Yeah. And I've literally done that. I've rappelled down, popped the rope loose, pull it down, and then I can take that one stick and grab my bow and I can slip over and I've already spotted the tree. I'm like, I should have been in that one, and I can ease down there and get in it. And then I can just nice and slow climb up, get everything set, and you're right back to it.
Yeah, Jay, let me ask you, how handy is something like that over in Ohio?
It's obviously really good on places aren't there a lot, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like a farm, you don't, like over in Ohio, we don't hunt it all the time.
Now you don't got to worry about, well, we don't have a set for this spot or a set for that spot.
Every time I go to Ohio, I bring my stuff because I might just want to go somewhere else, you know? It always gives you an option to, like, and you know how it is. Like, sometimes you got to move, man. Like, you do got to get down. Like, the worst thing you can do is sit there for 4 hours and watch deer 20 yards out of range all morning. Like, what, are you going to just sit here and just stare at it? Like, that's cool, I guess. You're close.
Almost.
But you know what I mean? You got to go over there.
Well, I've been, there's been a few times where, I've hunted, not seen anything, just kind of getting burned out. And it's like, all right, I'm going to go get lost today. I'm finding something else. I'm going somewhere else. I'm not going to my old spots. I'm just going to go get lost, and I'm going to climb and hunt something.
Yeah, something that just changing the scenery can change your attitude, right?
I'm
Like,
so excited about that part of it. Like, I've hunted that farm of ours for 15 years, and I'm like, dude, I'm just going to go to places I've never been before and just have some freaking fun, dude.
Yeah.
well, yeah, you kill a lot of deer like that, and a lot of these big deer. So here's something we didn't really talk about, but a lot of big deer that I've shot hasn't been in the stand that I've had hung on that farm for 10 years, right? Because they move like. So you get a picture of them, or you got cameras in spots you don't have stands, or you don't really hunt, but you're trying to see what's there. And then all of a sudden you got this buck showing up. You're like, well, I gotta get in there. Well, how you gonna get in there? Well, that gives you the ability to move to the deer. You got to go to the deer. Like sitting out here on this field edge, like he was out here once, in the last 2 weeks at dark, right at dark. But every night he's in here middle of the night. Like that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. People will you will kill one, right? But sometimes you just gotta go in there, and you gotta be quiet, and that's where it gives you that advantage to go. You gotta go to the deer sometimes to kill the deer.
Yeah.
For
Me
example,
and Clayton were talking about that yesterday. It's like I've had several places where it's like this would be the perfect spot. I mean, like if I could make a deer be where I need it to be, that'd be great. But
yeah, that'd be awesome. Huh?
That's just not going to happen. And like the deer that I shot in Illinois that I was telling you that got away from me, I had pictures of that deer on a scrape the night before, but I watched him combine corn a little more northeast of that spot, and I knew that there was a thicket down there. And I thought, man, instead of going and hunting that scrape, he was already there last night, so he's already checked that scrape. I'm going down by the combine corn because I knew that the doe were going to be gravitating towards the new combine corn. I climbed right there. I had a doe. I saw him. He walked back behind me, blew the reeds out of a grunt call trying to turn him, and he was chasing a doe through the thicket up there where the scrape had been. And I thought he was gone. He'd kind of disappeared on me. 45 minutes later, I look out in the corn, and he's run. I see a doe running straight to me. He's right on her tail, and I just haven't got it right that morning.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a big thing. Is just being able to. It allows you to be aggressive.
Yeah.
And in the rut, a lot of times in the rut, to be successful, you got to be aggressive because these deer aren't on a pattern.
No.
But if you see two bucks walk the same trail in an hour in the morning, you better get on that trail the rest of the day.
Right. It's the time to be aggressive too. Like the rut is the time where you're gonna take the risk, right? Like take it.
Yeah.
You want to go in here. Like I think he's bedded in here. Well, now's the time to go kick in the door.
I think it works too. Like on the
Check
flip
it out.
side, like you're not seeing deer, and then it just makes it so much easier to be able to say, hey, I'm gonna go scout this new area, and if I find something good, I'm just gonna get up. You don't have to like make a separate scouting trip and then see fresh sign or whatever, and then be like, oh shoot, I gotta get a stand and get something hung in here. It's just you can scout as you're going in, get up, and be ready to go.
Yeah. And everybody that I've got my brother saddle hunting now, and a lot of my friends, and one of the things that it did for me is it's something new and it's fun. It was different. It was getting to learn something new, getting to do something new. And then of course, when you do that and you have some success, well, it goes to 10, it's like, man, I've got a new method. I've snuck in here, got right in his bedroom, climbed up, killed him. And I mean, I don't know. It kind of made it fun again. And then with the whole one sticking thing, when you start to rappel, out of the tree and everything. I mean, it's fun, man. I mean, makes
you feel like a kid.
You feel like a little kid
Hold
again.
on.
I feel like a G.I. Joe or something,
I want to make a disclaimer. Graham sent me a video of that, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, given what you do for a living, I don't think you should be rappelling in and out of trees.
Dude.
I don't one stick though. That's why I go in with multiple sticks. I'm actually about to probably buy some new sticks for this season.
Well, even if you rappel,
there's a spot on our farm that I want to.
Well, even if you rappel, there again, I mean, it's just another reason to stay attached the whole time. Because hey, when you're getting down, it's easy to grab the sticks and pull them off and pitch them down, or hold them by the strap and just kind of let them go. And and you got to get home. You're hungry. They're waiting on you at camp, or your wife's waiting on you to get back so you can take her to dinner or whatever. And so you're gonna get in a hurry, and every time you get in a hurry, that's when you're gonna screw up. So.
Yep. Well, you got anything else for us, Lucas? It's insightful, because I'm jacked up now. I'll be at the farm in a week. I'm definitely hunting.
Hey,
I'm going to some new trees, some new places, to see some new faces.
man, I tell you.
I will tell you. I was just gonna say it makes saddles. The saddle setup, it makes hanging stands 10 times easier too.
Oh yeah, 100% on that. I did use your old saddle last year to hang stands. I was like, this is great, dude. I can hang these so much quicker, and I'm safe the whole time. This is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. And, it's like the leg straps. Everybody gets, you hear people, on Facebook stuff, they get a little hung up on these leg straps. You're not coming out of that thing. Like, I've played around out here in the yard, and I was showing my son, I was teaching him to do it, and I was like, you can flip upside down. Dude, you're not coming out of that thing. It's not going to happen. The way that it wraps around you and bites, you're not coming out of it. And I'd just say, man, look for trees that's got limbs. The other thing that was hard to get used to, when you set up a tree stand, I'm used to setting up a tree stand to hunt this area. Well, I got to set up on the back side of the tree with the saddle, because you put the tree between you. That took a little getting used to. But man, now it's like I'm looking for something with a split. I'm looking for something with a limb where I can kind of get in there and blend in with it. And you'll love it, man. It really is great.
Well, that's the other advantage too, though, is you're on the back side of the tree. You got something between you and the deer to keep you covered.
Absolutely.
Unless you're hunting one of them Coke cans like Jay, then you're like this wide and the tree's like this wide.
Yeah, I do the same thing, man. I've gotten in some real
I'd
small
shake
trees.
that tree to the ground.
Yeah, but you two, one of you is short and skinny. The other one's just real skinny. Okay, it's easier for y'all.
Fair enough. That stand I killed my buck in on Sunday.
I shot a buck out of a tree, and then I went back like a month later, and it was blown in half. Like, that's how little that sucker was. But I got him.
Yeah.
I was sitting it like. But that's why he's in there. That's like the only tree you could even hunt him in.
Right.
It was all brush.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one I'm getting in. It's big enough, I thought, but it snapped in half.
Yeah.
As long as it did it after you left, it's all good.
Yeah, I was out of there. My stand wasn't even in there. It was everything was gone.
Yeah.
Zach, you said you killed. Is that how it was when you killed your buck Sunday? Real tiny tree.
It was same deal. Like, that was the only tree I could get in, and it was one of those deals. Like, if you shifted your weight wrong on the platform, like, the tree shook. Like, the whole top of the tree shook.
What was it that you killed, Zach?
I killed a big. He's a mainframe 8, but with a little G4 on the one side. He's like mid 140s. So.
Sweet.
Georgia deer.
Yeah, Georgia deer. super dark chocolate antlers. Just
awesome.
A really nice deer, older deer. So.
So wait a minute. Is this going to be the year of the 8s? If it is, though, Jay's guaranteed to whoop all of us on score.
Yeah. I don't think there's one beating that one this year.
Yeah.
Jay, you got that rack by you? Or in the house?
Yeah, I'll go get it.
Show Lucas this rack.
I don't know if it's gonna fit in frame there.
Yeah.
Nah, the thing was, dude. He sent me a video. That thing. It'll fit around your waist, bro.
It was a hammer.
What did score?
It was like low to mid 160s.
Wow, that's a monster 8. It takes a monster 8 to get over a 140. I got
140-inch 8 is giant.
I got a 147 8 that I killed in '92. I was a kid, but yeah.
I don't know if it'll.
Whoa. Yeah, that's a hammer. Yeah. And where was that one killed?
Behind my grandma's house, Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't know where your grandma's house is, dog.
It's hard to address, see how big.
Yeah. Drop
it. Stand behind it, so that way we can get a good representation.
Oh, I gotta move. All right, you gotta watch out. We had a Nerf war. I don't know how dirty this basement is. Check his Nerf gun out though, for real. I don't know.
Holy cow!
That's a
I mean, it's a big deer. The best way, I don't know. It's hard to see it in pictures. Like you got the guys at work were like, "Nah, wait." I was like, "Well, measure it. Like you guys can score it."
yeah.
Yeah, that
And they're
he's like
like,
a
I
true
didn't-
like pictures don't do him justice deer.
No.
Yeah, you gotta put your hands
Yeah,
on.
like it's hard to. I don't know. It's just hard to. You put him
I
up
mean, those-
in, you put him in on a form or something, and then you like start to see it. Like he's a big old deer.
Those pictures you sent us, they looked real big in them photos.
Well, I mean, it's bigger. Like you see that deer,
Yeah,
like it's bigger than that one. Like I mean, when
That
you,
deer
when
was
he gets on
170.
the form, like it's bigger than that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big deer.
I was
It's
at
6.5.
I was at a diesel shop the other day. This guy's diesel mechanic. He was doing some work on one of my trucks, and he hunts in Fayetteville, Tennessee, just north of here. And he's like, man, we got to talking about hunting. I don't know how I wound up talking about hunting with everybody, but he was like, hey man, let me show you this 8-point I got. He's like, it's the biggest 8-point I've ever seen in my life. I was like, yeah man, let me see it. He pulls this thing out, shows me on a cell phone. I'm telling you, if this thing ain't a booner, I'll be sure. I bet his brow tines were 14 inches long. That thing was a stud. And I don't know. And of course, man, he was being tight-lipped about where it was at. Of course, not like I could get up there and kill it, but that thing is a stud.
Hey, Fayetteville ain't far from my house. Let me get some.
Where that pin at, dog?
See you home.
Hey, where's this diesel shop?
Yeah.
Right by your grandma's house.
Hey, stay away from my grandma's house, all right? That deer lived back there for 4 years, and he'd leave middle of September every year, and I'd never see him again until the next summer, usually. But this year, I shot him September 23rd
Yeah.
in the middle, 3:50 in the afternoon.
Wow. Man, I bet it was warm.
It was hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in a box blind too with the windows closed.
Hot boxing.
It's miserable. I don't recommend. I slept in it one night.
Man. Well, I
I
would
tried
too for a
everything
deer
to
like
kill this
that.
deer.
You got to do what you
You ain't
got to
lying.
do.
Yeah, I did. I tried. I mean, it worked. I got him, so.
Yeah.
I was about to say there ain't no try. You did.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was probably the hardest deer I've ever hunted to try to kill. For like really like. The only reason he would move is the wind changed direction. It had to do a 180.
Really.
So like he'd be on my camera like 1 p.m., 11 a.m., 2:45, 3:45.
Man.
And like we messed around, my buddy, a friend of mine, and he's like, dude, and I use ChatGPT, I'm not gonna lie. And it was like in ChatGPT, it really said, it figured it out too. It said your deer moves, or it didn't know it was a deer, it's just a pattern recognition. It was like mostly correlated with a low pressure system and an east to west wind change direction at those times. And I was like, that's crazy. Because my buddy's like, I think it's the wind shift. Well, that day I killed him, I took the kids to school and got in there at 9 in the morning. So, because the wind was going to shift at 12, and then the big shift was at 3:30. I shot him at 3:50.
I see that stuff that I would never ordinarily pick that up. I mean, it's the randomness of the trail cam pictures, and you think, man, he's just smart. He's just not doing the same thing. But I never thought of putting the data into chat. But man,
Well, that's what he was sending me the graphs, and I said the same thing as Buddy JR did. I was looking at it. I was like, "There's not a real good correlation." I said, "But I don't see a wind factor in here." I said, "Put the wind in and see what happens." Because at the same time, we've got a deer on our farm. He showed up like twice. It was like once a month, and I went back and looked at the weather information when he showed up. I'm like, it's a very specific wind when he shows up, and that's what he was doing. I was like, I bet that deer's doing it on a wind shift.
that's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What? It's like the notes that I took down for all the trail cameras. And I had a buddy that I was talking to the other day, Glenn, my buddy that's going to come doe hunt. He was like, have you paid attention to the wind? Like which way the wind direction is that day? And now I'm going back every mature buck that I have tracks on where he's showing up at the camera, I'm going to go and put which wind direction it is that day, so that way we can see if there's any correlation to them showing up to that camera those days.
Well, for example, Graham, I will go ahead and tell you, Chaw Jaw, that big body deer with the lump on the bottom of his jaw, that wind is very specifically like a east northeast or east southeast, and that's what we're gonna have next weekend.
East winds are the best winds to hunt.
And
I mean, I watched him. I sat there. It was first Monday of bow season this year.
Yeah.
He came in behind me. I was just inside the woods from that field. I watched him come from the north. He came all the way down. He stopped 30 yards shy of me. Was directly behind me. Walked 10 yards up the hill and then turned it a 180 and walked right back into that field. I watched him come down, scent checking the whole way, and then turning and he went right into that field like an hour before dark. I couldn't get a shot at him because he was dead behind me. But, I mean, very specific wind. And you want to talk about deer circling a field to scent check? Yeah. I mean, I just watched the whole thing. I watched him come right at me, stop, take 10 yards up the hill, and then do a 180 and go right back the other direction and get into the field he wanted to get in.
Mm-hmm.
But with all that being said, sometimes there's no rhyme or reason, right?
Oh, 100%. They're still a wild animal.
Yeah, so sometimes you just got to be sitting in it's time on the task, man. Sometimes ass in a tree stand. That kills a lot of deer, too.
Well, I mean, we're headed into the time period of deer hunting where it is all random.
Yeah, it's good. They're ramping up, man. Like, probably saw 25 scrapes the other 2 days ago. It's starting to rub. I mean, they're starting to get aggressive. So
it's right there. I can taste it.
yeah.
We're one cold front.
It is in the air.
Well, what do you guys think about the whole red moon thing? Have you been seeing that? Supposed to have like a red moon next weekend and then the following or something like that.
Wasn't there one at the beginning of the month?
Yeah, Lee Lukoski shot a giant on it. Here's the deal. I tell you, I think we talked to Adam Hayes about this. Like Jay and I did. And Adam said, basically, Adam doesn't solely rely on the red moon. It's an additional factor. Like I said, so what you're saying is, let's say we got 5 factors that could push a deer to move. So you hit 3 of 5 factors in play that day, you need to get your butt in the stand. Yeah. The moon is another factor. It's just that little extra push to say, I should be staying here, laying down right now because it's safe. But you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and get up.
Yeah. Yeah.
The red moon kind of correlates with the moon overhead. So, you got a morning moon, you got an evening moon. It's overhead and underfoot.
I don't know. Sometimes I think those moon charts do more for me than the deer because it's like you're anticipating. It's like, oh, man, it's supposed to be good today, and so it'll make you sit there a little longer, the placebo.
Yeah.
You got to pump yourself up.
Yeah, I got to make myself sit still past 11.
Yeah. After 4 days of nothing, it's hard to get back out there.
Listen, it's going to be cool next weekend with the right moon for evening sits.
This next cold front is coming next weekend. And
no, it's coming this weekend, but then there's another one.
It's coming Sunday here. There's a rain that comes through, and then it gets cooled off. Middle of the week, it warms back up till like Wednesday or Thursday, and then Friday it starts dropping back off again.
Yeah. So you'll have a cool front with that moon the weekend of the 25th.
That next cold front will be good. I'll be waiting. I'll be in Georgia. I'll be in I don't know what part of Georgia. Wherever Clint Black is where I'll be.
Yeah. So the 25th is about them days in October where those deer get consistent on scrapes they like, and they're still a little bit consistent. You know what I mean? Like a little bit on a pattern. Then you're going to have that cool front, and then you're going to have that moon next weekend on the 25th and 26th. I am in on next weekend. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to head back up to Illinois and get after them. They should have some more crops out of the field. I know there was one spot in particular that I like to hunt. We call it the roost, and they got the corn cut out of the roost. So a lot of turkeys back there also.
Yeah. So, well, cool. You guys got any more questions? I'm going to have to run and get my kids here in a minute. I feel like we end most of these podcasts where I'm like, I got to go pick kids up at school.
Yeah. I might take my kid hunting tonight. Chief season still.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot about that. It's 9 days. You need to take him Sunday.
Can't. I got to work Sunday.
Oh. What a shame. So, well, boys, any other questions? Any hot takes?
Nah, enjoyed it, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Oh, wait,
Yeah,
wait. Let's place a bet. First person to kill a deer out of the saddle this season out of the 5 of us on this call. Maybe, I'm not going to count you, Lucas, because you're always going to be in a saddle. How about the 4 of us clowns?
Well, where are they
Well, I
getting
mean,
shipped to?
if it's
It's Jay.
You'll have yours when I get there next weekend, cuz.
I was gonna say if it comes tonight, I'll go shoot one tonight. Just to
Just so we win.
All right, how about first person to kill a buck out of a saddle? Because
I
killing
gotta
does
drive
is too
far
easy.
to do that.
Yeah, well, you'll
you
be in the
gotta-
same boat as the rest of us. You don't get a jump start that way.
Yeah.
yeah. I was about to say because
sound fair.
I might be hunting out of a saddle stand this next weekend, smoking a slickhead. So
Yep.
I'm going to go Zach in Kansas. He's going to kill a brute.
When are you going to Kansas, Zach?
We leave next Friday. We start hunting Monday. So
Oh, I
and then
take
I'll be
that
there.
back. I
I'll be
don't
there
know.
from
Grandma
Monday,
might
Monday
stick
the
one by then.
27th. Monday the 27th until at least the 6th of November. And if I don't kill in that time period, we'll be there past the 6th.
You going to when you come to Kentucky?
I don't know yet. Probably later. I'm a bit in Kentucky. I'm a big fan of that, like 15 through 20, 15 through 25. I like that a lot there.
Yeah. All right. Well, Lucas, thank you for your time, buddy.
Hey, enjoyed it, man. It's great talking to you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
appreciate
Appreciate
it,
it.
Yeah,
man. Thank
But-
you.
Hey, man, if y'all need anything, holler at me. Got any questions or anything like that? Clayton's got my number. Y'all give me a shout. I'm glad to help any way I can.
Sounds
Yes,
good.
sir.
Thanks,
Graham,
buddy.
you get back
Thank
in
you.
Huntsville,
Appreciate
man. You need to holler at me.
Yes, sir. We'll do.
All right, buddy.